All right. So the Z-guard is probably my favorite of them, just simply because I don't have to worry about him flattening me out as much, and I also have more mobility. That's the thing that's about the half guard that's different than a regular guard, is that when I'm playing a regular guard, you know, all my attacks, everything I can do in here relies on me being able to move, right? But when you're in half guard, I'm locked up on his leg. Sorry. I can't move around as much. Whereas Z-guard, like, my hands are now free. If I'm in a full half guard, I'm worried about this shit. And I have to be really concerned about everything I do. If I get to the Z-guard, suddenly my hands are free to actually start messing around with him. So, a couple things that could happen from here, like I could potentially do an arm drag, right? And I can start doing that climb around here. Once I get him to post here, I can block this, and I'm gonna bring my hips up like I'm gonna climb around to his back, and then I bring my knee to the back side of his neck. I grab his arm here. If I just control his wrist, I can start to spread out my hips and go for a belly down armbar here. I can come around to my side. I can get the armbar here. If I pressure on his neck, he's gonna forward roll, and then I can get a standard armbar from there. Okay? So one more time. So from the Z-guard, because I have my hands free, I can actually start to work on controlling his arms. So, you know, he's probably going to be trying to break this. He's probably going to be pretty active on like trying to shut my knee off or whatever. So I'm going to have his arms relatively available to me. If he's sitting back and whatnot, like in this, I can start to come up, I can start to do all kinds of things. He's not really rolling. He's usually going to be like trying to flatten me out. He's going to be trying to clear this knee. And if he's doing that, I'm going to have access to his arms. So I'm going to take 2 on 1 arm behind his tricep, 1 on his wrist. I'm going to pull it off to the side. I'm going to keep my hand on this wrist. He doesn't want to have his posture held down low here. So he's going to be trying to build his posture up, and that's just going to help me a little bit here. So I'm going to go hips up first, and I bring my foot to the back of his head, boots on, and I start controlling this. I underhook here, and from here, I can start to roll him and start getting that armbar one way or another. See, a lot of times people will forward roll just because to get the pressure off their neck. From here, get this hip heavy, finish the standard armbar there. The other thing that's kind of very similar in this process is that if I can get him to post, right? So if I'm using like this foot, for example, to get him front heavy, I can get him to post. And if I'm like pushing and driving into him, especially as I'm coming up, right? I'm keeping my hips heavy on him. He's got to keep this hand specifically on the mat. And this hand, he's not going to be able to move either. So I'm really heavy on him, and he has to support us both. So I can take this leg out, bring it around and triangle, right? So that's a really, really critical concept, because a lot of times when we're trying to go for triangles, especially in the closed guard or whatever, like I might get this arm out, but you know, I might be working, don't even worry about that. Like I might be like trying to pull on this one and all that, but he's not reliant on this arm at all. So I'm actually going to fight his muscles. He can be able to pull that out, right? But if I'm playing some kind of game where I'm forcing him to face plant, and he has to, in order to not break his nose, keep his hand on the ground, well, now I have the ability to get that triangle without any resistance, right? One last time. Okay. So, however I get this arm drag, I'm open forward, and then I get heavy on it, right? He's not going to bring his face down to the mat, so if I stay heavy, I can pull my leg out and just bring it around because I'm hanging on it. Alright? Boom.